What's up YouTube? This is Mo from MoTV, and I've decided that I'm going to start doing a little bit of op tutorials for you guys on certain maps, both CTs and T sides of maps, and this is just an idea, a very rough draft. Let's see, I want to see how it would go. I want to start off giving you guys a little op tutorial of Dust2 on how to op at a CT side. I'm gonna jump right into it on this. So I'm here in my own server right here. Basically, there's this is a map that you literally can play every single spot on this map with an op, and there's a way to play it. I'm gonna start off by showing you guys the basic, how to hold it via if you're back at B opper or something like that. So if you're ever the guy that holds B, and it's not the most ideal, but it's pretty much one of the easiest ways to hold B. Would be the old. Most people smoke this. Obviously, for me as an opper, when I jump through a window and come into the back of B, I like to flash and then jump after the flash and then catch the opper either in this angle, catch the opper to the left. What I like to do a lot of times, and it's not like very conventional, is I like to be maybe ducked. If I know for sure he hasn't crossed yet, I like to be ducked on this side for this peek. And the reason I do that is because when an opper, a T-side opper is peeking you, he's going to peek around these angles, right? He comes in and he presumes this angle right here. No opper ever comes in looking here. So whenever that instantly gives you the advantage, you see his body while he's like slow peeking this, and then he comes in, he has to flick to you, while all you would have to do is react. It's a very easy shot for the you did the entry. Also, look, a lot of times you can also still play this, just headshot, peek it, go around, and you gotta be wary nowadays because this is actually spammable. And I've gotten killed in the back thinking I'm safe like this. I've been shot right through the top of this box. What's good is keep spotting and spotting, but I wouldn't do this. Like, if you haven't been challenged, you stay up until you kill the first guy. A lot of teams like to bait. They would send a guy to jump across the screen, and then they have the opper peek. So my thing is, if I go after the first shot, I shoot and I duck. I shoot for it and then I duck, and then I almost know there's this opper still watching me. If I know that they're posted on me and they're ready to safely get out, I'd either flash over, or sometimes, I'll say usually, like I said, I don't smoke it early on, so I'd usually have a smoke till late. I could throw that smoke or flash and get myself out of there, Look for them when they go into B as well. If they're executing with smoke and stuff, a lot of people try to jump on this box and over here. So this is a common spot to kind of pre-fire and spam. For the most part, that's how you want to play it if you're playing B, other than, when you're playing the passive out of the window and kind of giving them B, going for that first pick. Once you did that first pick, you could jump spot like that to see if they're coming in. It's never really smart to repeat this unless, you did the first kill, your teammate flashes for you, you don't repeat for the second kill knowing you're peeking with a flash. That's what I would say the safest way is. You never want to just, you did the entry, right? You already made it 5v4 for your team. You don't want to just throw your body out there and give them an easy trade on you, and then they have all of site control, and it's very hard for the CTs to retake. Moving on, probably the popular spot to hold on this map as an opper would be middle, and for obvious reasons. It's the longest distance here. Other than long, you have a lot of angles here that could be very op friendly, but lately it's been more of kind of risky to actually play this spot with an op, and here's the reason why. It used to be that you get to this area right here was very hard for the T's to be able to shoot you. Nowadays, it's so easy to get shot crossing or get at least tagged or led or hit crossing that it's almost not worth it to just challenge. Most of the time you want to throw a smoke off the wall from spawn and then cross after the smoke, cross high, cross low, whatever. Once you cross, safe ways to play it would be just basically you're playing it from inside of B, kind of holding, shooting. When you shoot, you hide, you let your teammate that's somewhere in B flash over for you, and then you can take a repeat with it, right? This is the safest way to play. A lot of teams do mid to B splits where they smoke out spawn. So when teams are doing a lot of the mid to B split and they're smoking out spawn, you don't want to be caught out here anywhere. You know why? Because teams will just, you know, send a barrage of flashes over. You know, the basic things to do here would be like for T side would be like throw that and then they do like a flash over maybe or a flash that way. And then they come out, they clear all this, and then it's like really, even Window's kind of hard to play, but it's probably the safest thing. What I recommend, if a team is very heavy on mid to B, what I recommend is honestly doing the safe, let them walk into your crosshair, did those entries, call for your teammate to help you flash and keep, you know, fighting them, and then kind of like let them up and just keep angling them out here. If they're a team that really doesn't know how to, great teams really know how to control mid, so you won't be able to do the aggressive, like, you know, you could always like kind of surprise late round, you know, you could do the flash and peek with it, you know, did that guy flash and then peek, if you're fast enough, did that kill. If you guys watch me, you see I do this a lot. I challenge a lot mid, and the reason being is there's always, I really always feel like the person on the other side isn't going to be able to compete with me and my reaction time. But sometimes, you know, if the shot just isn't hitting, or if they just have a really good T-side AWPER, or, you know, just a good T-side team, period, they really don't give you those easy picks. They flash everything before they peek. You can't even get this normal lower B pick. So my advice is don't completely count yourself out of doing these random peeks at middle to try to catch someone off guard, but don't just rely on that. Be kind of passive, and then you want to kind of throw that at them last minute. Like you want to throw it at them mid, like just as a surprise, like, oh shit, he peeked us mid. A lot of teams don't expect that. A lot of teams get used to you playing so passive that they're like, okay guys, you know, when teams always see you at window or out in B doors opping from here, and you know, you sit here with an op, you op, and then you're calling for this guy who's like right here, he could flash for you, or, you know, and you can keep repeating. When teams are used to you, when teams think that you're gonna always do that, then they start getting careless here. They start, you know, instead of smoking around this corner, they just start running across it or something, or peeking across it, and then boom, that's an easy shot for you on the CT. You know, they start kind of like, you know, let's jump on here, let's go. Like they kind of forget about, wait, we're kind of in the open. Like this guy could get us from middle. So that's why I recommend that. Hold on, let me. Okay, that's why I recommend that you kind of mix up your playstyle a little bit. Moving on to A. A is very easy as an op to hold. If you work off your teammates the right way. Like I said, this is one of those maps where every spot on the map can be held with an op if played right. The basics for this is, alright, so when you're the A holder here, you wanna be, as the AWPER, you wanna be, you know, sometimes even the best spawn. You always want to run backwards. You always want to have one player stay back here kind of for you, while two of you run up. This is if you're taking A control, if you're taking long A control. This guy throws a flash for you while you guys are running up. And the reason I run backwards is because when they're flashing over, you don't want these flashes to get you. So if I have the best spawn, I always do this, and I come out and I pre-fire, or not pre-fire, but pre-aim this angle right here. This is, you know, if they have someone with a good spawn, he's almost always going to go for this challenge pick off the bat. So this is a very crucial part of the map. You want to always win that battle right there. If you just simply aren't hitting your shots and it's just a tough one to do, you could always have your teammate that runs across the pit with you. He can, I think it's the smoke is like one of these smokes or something for you. This way, you don't have to, he doesn't have to worry about getting shot. That's not, yeah, that works good. So you always want to kind of get a guy across pit with an M4 while you're at the corner. Once that guy is in pit secured, this gives you free reign to kind of play catwalk, and with one of your teammates CT spawn listening, he'll tell you, hey, oh, I hear them on tat, I hear a couple on tat, they're getting ready to execute on A, be ready. He always gives you warning. At the same time, you never really have to go worry about this, but sometimes it's always good to have a guy in pit or against the walls over there, because then he could hear them. He could actually hear the AWPER zoom in and move in. So he could say, oh, there's the AWPER at lawn, there's the AWPER at lawn. So you could just simply do one of these and then peek with it. Boom, catch the AWPER off guard. It's very effective to do these kinds of things. You never just want to be, you never just want to wait for them to make the first move on you. You can I even prefer sometimes to be the guy that initiates action, because then you kind of throw their whole execute off. You know, they're relying on doing something, and then, you know, a random flash tip popped in the air, and you're peeking and you're shooting. It causes chaos for them, and depending on how good of a team they are, it might mess them up, and they might not be able to adjust to you accordingly. A lot of teams like to do nowadays, they do the, you know, they smoke spawn off right here, and they do the spawn drop from cat. This is pretty effective. If they do it right, it's really hard for the AWPER to, like, you know, the AWPER, this guy drops it, he challenges you either here or here. So my thing about this is, usually when you see that smoke drop, you almost always know there's going to be a guy dropping. So my counters for this is, when I know there's going to be a guy dropping, I sit and I just counter the flashes, because I know they're coming, because they almost never peek without flashing first. You counter the flashes, you'll always be able to catch something here, whether it's a guy jumping off or three jumping across and one jumping off. You want to always initiate, and then as soon as you shoot, you want to throw a flash, delay. This is your best friend right here, this box. You don't want to ever repeat this angle. What I do when I'm here, I'm literally just, I'm ready to repeat this. Or sometimes I completely ignore that, and I always try to stay around this area and repeat this. Reason I like to be here is because if he's not here or here right now, you could come and you have all this way, and you're almost always gonna catch a guy just, you know, lagging behind the rest of his teammates, running. You might catch him here. You never want to peek out here and catch him. It's such an easy shot for these guys to just, you know, pre-fire you and nade you. If you're stuck here? If you're stuck here, you're pretty much saying, like, okay, you're gonna die. You're going to die, but what you want to do is you want to cause as much damage as you can before you die. If you're already on the ace of set, like, worst thing you could do in this situation is try to flash them off and run back to long, and you'll just get killed. Like, they'll just see you and kill you. It's so easy for them to catch you running. If you're already trapped on this side of the map, you want to just fight and try to make whatever plays you can. You know, whatever plays you can, holding from here, angling out. Maybe, you know, maybe even getting crazier with it would be like smoking right here. But not even that. It'd be maybe smoking right here, and kind of like just using that smoke to get even more across here, and just, you know, just mess with them. But you're pretty much, you know, you want to do your job. You want to try to kill, you know, 1, 2, 3, maybe, you know, kill one, damage a bunch of them, nade them, hurt them, do whatever you need to do. And the key here is try to just stay alive as long as possible. Reason being is you want to keep them kind of occupied on you, worried about you, that your teammates at middle or at CT spawn are already starting the flank, are already starting to retake mid, are already starting to come out behind them. This guy Lond is pretty much, you know, sometimes he could be help, sometimes he could come over here and help, but I prefer that this guy Lond always commits to Lond for that late Lond guy, because no team is going to send all 5 cat. There's always going to be a lurker. So this guy, the worst thing that could happen here is this guy comes to help you, flashes for you, whatever you guys are here, he's happy. Boom, you both get double flanked right here. The guy with an AK comes in, boom, boom, kills both of you out in the open like this. So this guy pretty much needs to just stay alive and leave you. That's if you're trapped on that side. Now, you could always, a lot of teams like to do this, and this is probably the smarter way to do it, depending on how good your team is at retaking. You would be here, you would initiate first contact, you know, flash, fall back. You know, fall back, make sure there's not a guy peeking you. This guy's usually, at this point, this guy's usually playing like, your teammate's playing like with a rifle close up here, or he's already close to the doors to where you are able to get in pit, and just literally, your job would literally be just stay here and hold. They could plant now, but the beauty of this is you have lawn control, you have CT spawn control, and your teammates could probably retake cat on them, but you don't even need to. When your team is playing this way, you guys can initiate a retake strategy where you literally just wait for them to get ready, and then you start, you know, depending on how they want to do it, they could come out through spawn, and you could help by just throwing flashes over like that land in the site, and then you have your 3 teammates come over through spawn, and you 2 go along. That means it's literally an aim map. All you guys have to do is kill the guys that are
playing on catwalk and maybe quad right here. It's all it's if this is more for the advanced teams that are okay with allowing the bomb plant and don't feel pressure to retake and defuse. A lot of teams do this. It's very effective. Some of the best teams are you'll see teams that are straight up play for this. They want the other team to plant, and they love that. They have a crazy retake strategy. It all depends on what kind of style your team is looking to do. So that to me is probably like the more advanced teams that want to do it. The AWPER here is very crucial to this because he has to. Your job as an AWPER here is don't die. You literally just need to stay alive. You want to kill them if they challenge you here. You want to kill them if they challenge you here. But you don't want to overextend until your team is ready. Once your team is ready and they say they have spawn and they're running up through spawn, that's when you and your teammates start throwing flashes this way and whatever. And you could even come here and you could nade, molly, or just spam that. Make sure there's no one there. Come out here, and then once your team is retaking, then you guys can smoke stuff out. You can smoke them out over there. You can smoke this out. You know, the plant's probably going to be here, so you want to be able to defuse while guarding your teammate. And if they plant and they're on T side and they all 5 plant, they're all 5 alive, and all 5 of the CTs are alive, and all 3 of your guys make it safely up spawn, it's almost a guaranteed CT win because all you guys have to do is smoke them out. You know, maybe even smoke the side out. Did a guy defuse it, and then just aim map them for, you know, the 5 seconds it takes to defuse it with a hit, and it's almost a guaranteed win. These are the basics of opping A and long. Now, there's obviously variations. There's certain boosts you can do. There's certain ways to hold cat. I like to sometimes, you know, be the only single AWPER cat. Get the pick, fall off. You know, you fall off, flash. From this position, now they know there's an AWPER A. You could do 2 things. You could fall back all the way to A ramp and play the ramp spot or play the car spot, or you could even completely leave A and move around, and you could come back towards mid and, you know, go for that mid-round pick. Maybe this angle out, the guy trying to walk across here. Maybe even, you know, flash over and take a pick, or maybe just walk pick. You know, it's very smart as an AWPER on this map to keep roaming around. You never want to just stay in one spot, and you want to always experience the different other spots. So there'll be times where I start this round out at long A, and at the end of the round you see me at the back to B, because you always want them to be worried about that AWPER. They're like, oh, where's that AWPER gonna go? Once they think you're at A, they're gonna naturally think, all right, let's avoid that AWPER. Let's try to, you know, split mid. Let's do this. Let's do that. One thing that I like to also do is, like, if I'm playing mid or A or whatever, if I get low health early, if they somehow get me down to like below 20 health and I'm already low and it's stuff, I don't like playing spots where they could just spam me or they could just get a random nade off on me. So I'll instantly let the B guy know, hey, B guys, if it's 2 or 1, I tell them, I'll play back to B, you guys take over mid, boom. Then this is probably the safest spot to play, the back to B spot, with low health. This is almost guaranteed to get you a kill, at least 1 or 2, before you even die, because it's such a hard shot for them to hit from long distance, and you're already low anyway, so you just want to, you know, you're only showing your head. It's a win-win for you that way, in that manner. This is just the basics of CT side. There's obviously a lot more. There's more advanced stuff you could do, and I'll do a more advanced opping tutorial where I can bring in little things like, you know, I've started to do this a little more where I smoke that and I make this jump, if I can make it right now. I don't know why. I make this jump, and what I do from here is I just stay in the smoke and I just peek over, and you surprise pretty much the guy that doesn't expect you to just jump on this box through. At the same time, there's a couple boosts here. You could have your teammate sit here while you jump on his head, and then you get like this angle right here into lower B, and this is almost I don't want to say it's almost an easy pick, because a lot of teams look for this, so you never want to really rely like, oh, this is a for sure pick, but at least to mix this into your strategies some random times is good. Sometimes, you know, you could have your team do the smoke lower. I'm not sure how. Not that way. They smoked it to where it lands here, and then that gives you free reign to come out and kind of pre-aim this spot, you know, look around all those spots. So there's different things you could do: aggressive, passive, but definitely it all depends on what kind of team identity your team wants to have, and are they the kind of team that likes to kind of um, take control of certain areas of the map, or do they like to give up the control and retake it? That's all it comes down to. Do you guys enjoy, like sometimes some teams always give cat control. They always give up cat control. I don't like to always give up cat control. I like sometimes to kind of be here, kind of challenging cat, did an entry, fall back, be here, did an entry, fall back. Sometimes I like to just not easily let them have a spot, because I feel like you never want a team to not be worried about every single corner. When I'm playing against a team, I want the team to be checking everything. I want them to be wasting their flashes here. I want them to waste a flash here. I want them to go, be worried like, okay, like I don't even want them to peek this corner without flashing. I want them to, and the reason being is you want them to waste as much stuff as they can before they're close to the wet site, so that they literally have nothing left for the actual take. And that's the key. That's the little meta you want to play. You want to make them waste their stuff so fast and so consistently that when they get to the point where they can take a site, they only have like one flash between all 5 of them, or one smoke. And how are we going to do this? Okay, let's just run out and die. And it always works. And that way you control the money of the teams. That way you keep the team's economy down. You always make them spend. You always make them waste their money when they don't need to. See, but in their minds, they have to. They have to flash this because they're scared that a guy might be around this corner. They're scared that. So, like I said, as the AWPER on this map, you're really crucial to changing the whole way of how the other side thinks, as well as on T. This was my CT side tutorial. I will have a T side one up for you guys in the near future. I would like to also include other maps in this. I'm going to go through all maps. Any comments that you guys have on certain things, if certain things weren't clear, please feel free to ask in the comment section. And I'm sorry if this was kind of like a little rushed. It's kind of like my first attempt at trying to teach my way of thinking on this map, for instance, as an AWPER. Like I said, this isn't the foolproof way to play a site, but from experience on how to play this map, with an AWP at least, is I feel like I've done it all and I've experienced all, and I see what works at a higher success rate than others. And I've literally played every spot on this map, from long to cat to middle to B, everything. So thank you for watching, guys. Please subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitter, and like on Facebook, and hopefully there's a lot more of these videos coming up. Thank you for watching.